guys. How are you all? Thank you guys for being here. Hey, Adrian. Hey, Lemons. Hey, other Adrian. Adrian. Hey, Nadine. Neat Noodle. Chat jumped on me. Tony, Brandy, Bendy. Let's see. Blue, Hippie Chick, Kimberly. Good to see you guys. Stacy, Bo, Basie, Belinda. Nails and Braids by Kim. Time Out. Angel Something. Slick Nikki. Cool Gamer. Foxy. How are you guys? And how's your day been? Black Swan. I don't know if I've said that. Hey, Angie. Oh, Angie, I tried that makeup you sent me and one of the sprays, and it is, oh my gosh, a different Sol de Janeiro body spray I hadn't tried. It smells so good. So I was playing with that makeup, trying to get myself out of a funk, you guys. I just have to say, before we get started, I have been in such a funk, and I need to get out of it, and it's tough. I woke up this morning and I was just like, oh, just tons of anxiety, overthinking, the brain all over the place. So I almost didn't do this live, but I thought, no, I need to come on. I wanted to talk about this stuff anyways. Happy feeding season. That spray, I'm definitely buying the big bottle. It was a huge hit. I know. The pink Sol de Janeiro. It's so good. Hey, Melissa Jade. Let's see. Okay, so we do have some updates with the Chad Doerman case. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Sprinkled Donut. Hey, G-Wiz. That's Shiznitz. Good to see you guys. We got a couple updates which are really quite interesting. And Lil Red had sent me the bill of particulars. We went over that before, but in case you hadn't, we might look at that tonight. I also have two other stories I want to touch on really quick, and I want to keep this under an hour. So we're going to get through as much of it as we can. Let's see. It is so yummy. Angie also sent me a whole box of these, like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Crunchy Bars. They're from Cadbury. It's chocolate on the outside, and it's called whipped toffee, or what's it called? It's got like this crunchy toffee like center that dissolves. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. They are so good. Hey, Crime Crochet and Coffee. All right, let me go ahead and pull up about the Doerman case. Oh, also one last housekeeping type thing. If you are part of the Patreon, I don't even have the link on me, so I can't drop it. I made a post over there today, and I wanted to do something either tomorrow or the next day. I wanted just to, if you are part of it, go check out the post, leave a comment, give me your feedback, because I wanted to do our next Patreon live, but I want to do it when everyone's available. I know a lot of people are looking for content around the holidays because maybe they're not with family, they're sick, whatever, that kind of thing. But yeah, so okay, Crunchy Bars, they're so yummy. Oh my gosh. Love Crunchy Bars. They're delicious. Okay. Ooh, thank you, Melissa and Adrian. Thank you guys, because I did not have that. Hey, Mia. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into this. So he had court, really, just the other day, and his attorney filed a ton of motions. Many of those motions were standard. You know, this is a death penalty trial. This is going to be, why do I keep doing that? You know, it's going to be a big deal as far as motions. We've seen it with Brian Koberger's case, and even with Chad Daybell. When it's a death penalty trial, the picking the jury part is quite difficult. Oh my goodness. Let me mute that. Sorry, you guys. Quite a different story than just for your average murder case. Why do I keep going to this story? Something's pulling me to the next story. Okay, so a Claremont County judge is considering 41 motions in the murder trial for Chad Doerman, the man accused of executing his 3 sons at their family home. A pretrial hearing was held Monday in Claremont County Common Pleas Court before Judge Richard Ferencz. Prosecutors said Doerman lined up the boys, ages 3, 4, and 7, at their home and executed them with a rifle on June 15th as part of a plan he had been thinking about for months. According to investigators, one of the boys tried to flee into a field, but Doerman hunted him down, brought him back to the house, and killed him. Their names are Clayton, Hunter, and Chase. And oh my gosh, they're just, look how absolutely precious these boys are. Now, if you've been following this case for a while and following it with me, I reached out to the Claremont County Courthouse and they sent me a ton of information, like right when this first happened. Several different body cam videos, different paperwork, every police officer that responded, his statement on the situation, a ton of stuff. And we went over, definitely, if you haven't seen some of that, I would go back because I'm going to follow this case very closely, as well as Adam Montgomery through the trial process, and Chad Daybell and Brian Koberger. We have some major trials that I'm looking forward to. Let's see. They are precious, Melissa. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. Oh, Tess, I hope everything's okay. Sorry I missed your live, Miss Foxy. Violet Crumble is a, oh, I didn't know that, Teacup. I'll have to look that up. Thank you, Melissa. Hey, Butterfly Kisses. We just got home from Grady Hospital. Oh, what a trip. So glad to be home here with you guys. I'm so glad you're here too. I hope everything's okay. I mean, the body cam, which I can pull up, like I might pull up one or two things from that, from the file that I have in a second. I mean, he just sits there after he chases, one of the boys who tries to run away, chases him down. Apparently it all started in their bedroom and they laid down for a nap, and then he gets, they wake up and he starts the attack. He accidentally shoots his wife, or not accidentally, but he shoots his wife in the hand. She's trying to protect her boys. Her daughter starts to run off with one of the boys. That's who he chases down and gets the boy back. And thank God that the daughter survived, and we know that he did not intentionally mean for her to survive, because there were reports of him firing shots toward the fire department, which is the direction that she ran to. Okay, so I do have all of the file from the courthouse pulled up in the background so we can go to it. Okay, well, let me continue reading through this article. So the boy's mother was shot in the hand trying to save the life of one of her sons, according to court documents. Doerman faces the death penalty, and his lawyers have filed dozens of motions as the case has progressed. The Inquirer spoke to Hamilton County Prosecutor Mike Allen, who reviewed the list of motions. He said most of them are standard procedure for death penalty cases. They file every motion you can possibly think of, he said. One asked for Doerman to be allowed to appear in civilian clothes without restraints at court proceedings. Another asked the judge to exclude gruesome photos of the crime scene. No, I don't like that. I'm sorry. How dare you even ask that? You don't get to commit a crime like this and say, please keep, the most gruesome photos from the jury. I've heard that before in other cases, and I think that because they feel that the crime scene photos may make the jurors automatically lean towards guilty or something, but it is like he did it for sport. It's disgusting. I just don't like that. I know that it's gruesome. I know it's going to be tough for people to see. And I know people may need counseling and have nightmares and all the things after. However, their story is important to be told factually. And to me, that just feels like, I don't know. I just don't like it. So Claremont County prosecutors argued that some of the motions were vague and putting, quote, the cart before the horse, unquote, while Doerman's lawyers said they were planting a fence post so the issues aren't overlooked. And that is a direct quote from his attorneys. Several of the motions dealt with jury selection, like one asking for jurors to be questioned individually instead of in a large pool. Another asked for a detailed jury questionnaire to be completed by potential jurors prior to jury selection. Allen said nearly all were pretty typical in death penalty cases, but there were two motions he said he had never seen before. The first was a motion to prohibit any references to the trial's first phase as the guilty phase. There are two parts to a death penalty trial. The first asks the jury to determine whether the defendant is guilty of the charges. If the person is found guilty, the second phase of the trial asks the jury whether the defendant should be put to death. Remember, if you guys followed along with Ronald Anthony Burgos Avias, his trial, it was in two parts like this. Death penalty cases are the only criminal cases in Ohio in which a jury has anything to do with the penalty or sentence the defendant is given. In other criminal cases, it is a judge who determines the sentence. Allen said that lawyers colloquially, I cannot say that word, refer to the first phase of the trial as the guilt phase or the guilty phase. In law text, it is called the guilt/innocent phase or the culpability phase. Allen said it makes sense for a defense lawyer to file a motion about the language being used in front of the jury. You don't want the jury to associate the defendant with guilt. The second motion that Allen said was new to him involved the jury pool. The defense has filed a motion for a fair jury pool that includes convicted felons who have served their sentences. The thought must be that if you've been convicted by a jury and served time, you might be sympathetic to a defendant. Hey, Becky. I'm doing all right. How are you? Hey, Juicy Jules. Miss Pointer Lover, what could his defense be? Yeah. And I don't know, because he's confessed. It's going to be, I hate to use the word interesting, but it's going to be interesting. I overuse that word so much. Okay, so Judge Ferencz made no rulings on any of the motions Monday. He said he would issue written rulings to each of the motions. He said the motions are important, and due to rules of the courts, he can amend or change his rulings as new information comes to light. Ferencz said these motions will also give the prosecution and the defense a chance to understand his understanding, attitude, and interpretation of the law. Doerman is being held on a $20 million bond. Ferencz said Monday Doerman has not been disruptive at the jail, a factor the judge will consider when deciding if he will have to continue to wear restraints. So we did see him in regular clothes. He was arrested the same day as the killings, just yards away from the bodies of his son. As he's arrested, he's sitting on the porch, you guys, and I'm going to show you in a moment, just smoking a cigarette, feet away from these babies. And we've analyzed the body cam footage very closely. There's a point where he walks right past them and looks at him. It's just eerie to see. Hey, T. Adams. Good to see you. Hey, Johnny. He said he did it and planned it in his confession. Oh, Foxy, I love it when you laugh. Your laughter warms the heart after a long day. Oh, I'm so glad, because I've had quite the day too. Not that it's been long. I've been at home. I've hardly opened my messages. I've not opened emails. I've hardly done anything as far as communicating. I've just been really stuck in my head, which is never a great place to be. So let's go over to this People article really quick. I saved these 2 days ago for us to go over, because I can't remember why. Maybe it was the photos. Look at these boys. We have Clayton, Hunter, and Chase. Oh my goodness, they're so precious. I cannot imagine. Oh, okay. Also, a trial date has been set. It's going to be from July 8th to August the 2nd. So they're expecting, 3 weeks of trial. So they must have a lot of evidence. That's about how long Letitia's was. I think hers was expected to be a little longer, but still. Okay, so Doerman allegedly lined up his 3 sons, later identified as Clayton, who was 7, Hunter, who was 4, and Chase, who was 3. He shot them execution style on July 15th of this year. The Claremont County Sheriff's Office said in a release. 3 minutes later, a driver in the area called police to report a young girl running down a road screaming that, quote, her father was killing everyone, unquote. The sheriff's office said, why was I thinking it was June 15th? I don't know, but look at them. This is from Chad's Facebook. According to WXIX, deputies arrived at the home and found Doerman sitting on the steps with his rifle beside him. Shortly after, police found the 3 children laying in the yard unresponsive. The sheriff's office said they attempted CPR, but the children died at the scene. The children's mother was allegedly shot in the hand while trying to protect her sons from the gunfire. There's his mugshot. Now, we watched also more body cam footage that was released. I used to have all of it up on my channel. Because of that reused content stuff, I deleted it all, which really sucks. but I know we could find it. But he's in the actually, I have it on the computer, so I have it all downloaded. But he's in the holding cell and he slams his head up against the wall, and there's a few interesting things in that footage. It was June 15th. Thank you. I thought so. So that article got it wrong just because that's the day Summer went missing as well. Thank you, guys. That's what I thought. Well, how I cannot wrap my mind around all of these parents just taking their kids out. Letitia, because she was mad at Al. This D-bag, he was mad at the wife. Well, and we also have neighbors that came out and said, he was quite aggressive. Like they would hear yelling and stuff a lot. There's a lot of rumors about what exactly was going on. It'll be interesting to see what shakes out of that that's actually true. So the mother, suffered non-life-threatening injuries and was taken to a nearby hospital. There, deputies informed her sons had passed away. In July, Doerman was indicted on 9 counts of aggravated murder, 8 counts of kidnapping, 4 counts of assault, and he pled not guilty. Doerman allegedly planned the attack for several months, according to court documents obtained by WXIX. The 7-year-old baseball coach previously told People the 3 boys were a little pack who went everywhere together. They were always together, and at the ball fields, if we were playing a game, then everybody was there watching. The other 2 boys, his sister, mom, everybody was there watching. It's heartbreaking. These little guys were just such a joy to be around and so much fun. All of them. They were just amazing children. So let me go ahead. Let's pull up some of this stuff just for a second. These body cams, because I don't actually remember which was which. So I think the way we'll have to do this is stop screen share. We're going to have to share the entire screen because I usually just share a window. And then also share system audio. Okay. Here's the file. So there's a lot in here. There's the CAD notes, which is little short notes from the officers as they're arriving on the scenes and things like that. His booking photo, several different officers' body cam, the indictments, press releases, redactions, things like that. I can't believe they got the date wrong. I mean, that's really frustrating. The 911 calls, all of those things. Let's start with Popham. Actually, no, we're going to start with Sparks. Okay. So I think if I remember correctly, let's skip. So in the redactions list that I got from the courthouse, I know that black screen, the reason that's redacted, it's just the computer. They don't want to show what software and things like that they're using. Now, this is where you'll see them walk up to Chad and you'll see him sitting on the porch. Watch this. Unbelievable.
Here.
On the porch, We've asked them
You show me your hands now! Stand up and walk to me! Stand up now!
Oh my God.
Towards us! Stand up with your hands up!
We got a visual on the male. Not showing his hands, not following commands.
We got a visual on the male. He's not showing his hands and not following commands.
Stand up now!
Not following commands. We gotta go.
We gotta go.
Chad Doerman.
These kids are in the front. We gotta go.
Oh my gosh. I guess I was just too hyped up to hear when these first came out. He said, these kids are in the front. We got to go. And let me tell you, these officers panicked and tried to save those babies' life. One of them just grabbed one of the boys and ran with him to EMS instead of waiting for EMS to come. So in this footage, you'll see at one point a spot in the yard is redacted, but then at another time it's not because the child had already been picked up by an officer.
I'm trying. Safe for sure.
Oh, Chad's on my list, y'all. No doubt about that. Oh my God. Hold on, you guys. Let me just do something really quick.
We see it. We're going close to this side. Right here.
Six covered.
We gotta go.
29 and 63 to check up. Right now, okay, right now. Show me your hands now. Stand up. Stand.
Okay, I apologize about that. I just had to mute for a second because one of the kids ran through here. But I had to unmute to talk to you guys about this for a second. Uh-oh, come on, give us the... Okay. As you can see, Chad, he's sitting on the steps calmly, smoking a damn cigarette, gun just laying beside him like nothing. And look in the yard. This is like so sad and eerie about it, which Teresa actually went up here in person and filmed and stuff. But you see a swing hanging from the tree. I mean, beautiful yard. I think they had, I don't know, their bike out in the yard. You see several things like from the kids. But watch this.
Move, hold.
Oh, and I'm sorry, one more pause. This man is more worried about the dog than anything else at a certain point. And I don't know if that's in this one or the next one we're going to see, but just to...
Stand up now! Stand up! Stand up! Get your hands out here. 21. It's in the air.
The shooter, not complying.
I mean, they almost would have been justified if they would have had to take his life because he literally, they said at 10, stand up, and he just sits there. Oh my God, it's unbelievably frustrating. I know crime, crochet, and coffee. Well, in another one of these clips that we're going to watch, you will see the officers are not happy with him. They are straight up rude to him, and honestly, he deserves it. But I think it was maybe Sparks. No, that's who we just watched. So was it Popham? Go back to this. Okay. This one, if I'm not mistaken, it's like 6 minutes in before it gets to he gets to the house. Yeah. Okay.
Let's go. Where's he at?
Where's he at?
Shooter's down the court.
Get him right here. You got one.
Okay, this is just another view of that, but they cut it off. Hold on, my memory is, I'm trying to remember exactly what happens here because I walked through their reports and we figured out one of these officers is the one that grabbed the baby off the ground. So the tape cuts right before that happens.
Stand up with your hands up!
Excuse me.
Hey, no. We need to come from this side where we can see it.
Okay, so now you see that there is no child laying down here. In a minute, there will be. And I think that what the officer did when he grabbed the baby and ran to EMS was he laid him right there at the front of the driveway. like I said, my memory's fuzzy because we've been so knee deep in other cases, but that's the gist of it.
We see him. We see him. We're going to approach from this side. We got cover. October 21.
See the baby laying there, right to the side. Hold on, let me let you hear what he says about the dog.
Show us your fucking hands now. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up.
That is one of the boys laying there.
Stand up. Stand up now. Stand up. Stand the fuck up. Get your hands October 21.
So right here, I believe, is where it cuts, and Officer Sparks, I think, goes and picks up one of the boys and runs him down to the end of the driveway. So when you see Chad walking out, you'll see him walk right past one of the boys, and he looks right directly at him.
Send the air.
I'm not mad or nothing.
I got it.
See, he runs off. He's right there with the boy. He's trying, and then he picks him up and runs him down here. As this cop has this interaction with Chad, Deputy Popham. If you remember, sorry you guys, but if you remember, the last one cut off right here, and that's right before this officer runs over to the child, so they've redacted that part of his body cam.
21. Get the EMS over here.
Well, I don't get drugs now. I'm sober. I'm not going to put you.
63.
Get your butt inside. Galley, get your butt inside.
We on primary?
Now.
29.
Okay, we're gonna pause for a moment. I know this is a lot. It even has my heart racing, and so I just want to talk to you guys for a second. You can hear Mom in the background. They're dead. You've taken my life. Just awful. Absolutely awful. Oh, Diana, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You guys will see now on our side, like the creator side, how, see where it says starred right here? The comments now save, like, if they're memberships, super chats, anything like that, so we don't miss them. Thank goodness. Thank you, Diana. Yeah, you have the right to remain silent, and I suggest you effing use it. Then when he asks to get his wallet out, he like cusses him again. He told the dog to get his butt back inside. This, I know, Tess, I cannot imagine. Yeah, he did, Chopper. Actually, I should pull that because I forget exactly what he said. If anybody is just now learning about this case, let me know. And then Vicky says, was he on something? Apparently not. Now, he's going to give us a comment in just a second about that. So I'm going to rewind it like 10 seconds so you can listen, because it's hard. You hear Mom, so you can like listen once and focus on that, and try to make out what she's saying. But then you're also hearing him with the dog and then the officers. So you kind of have to listen more than once to make out what everybody's saying. I know, Angie, it breaks mine too. But he does make a comment about not being on anything and not being angry. I've seen this multiple times and right after it hit the media, but never really knew what sparked it. Well, while this plays, let me find when there was, I can't do it. Because I'm sharing my full screen, because I'll find it on my phone. There was more information that came out.
Stand up! Stand up now! Stand up! Stand the fuck up! Get your hands October 21. Send the air.
That's the shooter. Not complying. I got it. I'm trying to hurt nobody.
I'm completely sober. I've never done drugs a day in my life. So I'm not sure, if he about alcohol, but that's what he says about that.
Get the EMS over here.
I don't do drugs now. I'm sober. I'm not trying to fight you.
63.
Get your butt inside. Yowlin, get your butt inside.
We're on primary.
Hold on just a second. Hold on. Okay.
$29. We got 3 kids down.
3 kids down, 16 down.
Yowlin.
63. We're 21. Have EMS respond over here.
You're clear, they're being advised.
Robert 34, just started mass casualty response.
63, do you want them to respond to the Laurel Lindale address? Where exactly do you need them?
We're right in the front yard.
He took my life from me. My life.
What are you doing, man?
Hey, are you copying all this?
Can I roll over? I ain't gonna hurt you. I ain't gonna hurt nobody.
You got anything on you?
No, I ain't got nothing, man. Phone, that's it.
Okay, I found the article I want to show you guys after this. Sorry that I paused it for a second, but Bentley ran through here and I didn't want him to even see or hear what is playing. But if you notice, there's blood on the back of his shirt. And God, the mom breaks my heart. She says, they're dead, aren't they? What do I do?
I ain't mad. I ain't nothing. Just make sure that dog don't come out. I don't think he'll bite you. Just don't reach for him and try to grab him and pet him.
All right.
He won't bite you.
What's going on, man?
Nothing. Can I stand up? It's kind of uncomfortable.
I'm gonna get
I ain't
you
gonna
here
do
in a
nothing. I ain't
second.
running away. You can do whatever you want with me.
Okay, so this part I want to have my mic on now that everybody's through here. You can see EMTs or somebody over to the right. See, over the baby.
Here.
You the only one else?
You the only one else inside the house?
What?
You the only one else inside the house?
Yeah.
Sit down right here.
My daughter, she ran over to the fire department.
Sit down.
It's my stepdaughter.
Put him in the cage.
This is Will.
Okay, there's also footage of the guy, that tells him about his, he has to get his wallet and that stuff, but we're not going to watch that. I want to skip over to this article. Let me stop this screen share. Oh my God, that is just so hard to watch. But I'm really looking forward for his day in court, truly. I want to know the details of this. Now, what we're about to read gives us a better idea of how this happened. More details about what his confession and that kind of thing. But it is incredibly graphic and hard to hear. Hey, Harlot. Hey, Truth and Justice. It's uncomfortable. I know. They're so little. Oh, God, I know. Can you imagine? He said he planned it for weeks or months. It's kind of funny. His dog doesn't even give a F that these guys came onto the property aggressively and dominated his owner. That's interesting because I didn't even think about that. Hey, Music City Mom. Scrabble, she sure did. Hey, Rope Scow. It is hard to watch. Oh, Tiffany, I know. I mean, oh, the sister tried to make it out with one of the boys. Well, let's go through the details of this. Pepper, there's going to be a lot of upcoming court dates because they scheduled the trial. It's July 8th, scheduled from July 8th to August 3rd. So there'll probably be a lot of motions hearings. Okay. Oh, wait. Thank you, Shaker Maker. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, so document reveals new details about how Chad Doerman allegedly murdered his 3 sons in Monroe Township. This story contains descriptions of violence that could be difficult to read. Court documents filed in Claremont County reveal new information about the tragic and grisly murders of 3 young boys in Claremont County, allegedly at the hands of their own father. On June 15th, county dispatchers received a 911 call reporting a shooting on Laurel Lindale Road at around 4:15 p.m. Body camera footage from officers shows when they arrived, 32-year-old Chad Doerman was sitting outside of his home with the rifle next to him. He was quickly taken into custody, and prosecutors said he later admitted to killing his 3 sons, 4-year-old Hunter, 7-year-old Clayton, and 3-year-old Chase. Despite allegedly confessing to law enforcement that he was responsible for the murders, Doerman pleaded not guilty in court on June 23rd. He has a pretrial hearing September 22nd, 2023, and his trial was scheduled to begin July 8th. A bill of particulars filed in Claremont County laid out more information about the homicides and the months leading up to them when Doerman said he'd been allegedly thinking about killing his children. I'm going to play this video in a second because they have some graphics and stuff that might help us understand a little better, but let me read through it. So it says, the document says on the day of the murders, Doerman came home from work early and asked his wife and the boys to join him in the master bedroom for a nap. Next to the bed was a gun safe holding the Marlin Model 22 rifle he would later use to open fire on his family. That's interesting to me because a 22 is a very small bullet. It is the one right above BB guns. And when people are shot with them or deers are shot with them, oftentimes they won't even escape the body. They'll go in and kind of bounce around in there because I guess they're not strong enough to do an exit wound. While this was happening, the boy's sister was watching television in the family room of the home. After lying down with his wife and 3 sons, the document says Doerman got back out of the bed and retrieved the rifle from the gun safe. He inserted a loaded magazine into the rifle and shot one of his sons twice, according to the document. So in the house. The mother of the children immediately began to render aid to the boy and yelled for her other sons to run. By this time, the sister had made her way to the master bedroom in time to witness the first shots fired, according to the document. So the sister saw it all. She ran after one of her brothers, screaming for him to keep running, but Doerman gave chase, firing at the boy as he fled. The document says the boy was hit by gunfire and fell. Doerman approached the boy and fired again at close range. The young girl then ran back to the house where she picked up another of her brothers and fled with him in her arms, the document said. As she neared the road, Doerman caught up with the 2, raised the rifle, and demanded she put her brother down. He attempted to fire the rifle, but it didn't go off. The document says the gun appeared to be out of ammunition. Can you imagine her fear? He tried to shoot. She was trying to escape with those babies. God bless her. Oh my God, that poor girl. I cannot. This is the stuff that makes me think like today. I had this like anxiety this morning. I've always kind of like cut myself off from the outside world when I get like that. And like, even though some of my problems can be very real and hurtful and stressful, I mean, God Almighty, like imagine if these were your problems. The young boy then ran to his mother, who had left the home and gone into the yard to render aid to the boy shot outside. The young girl began to run toward the Monroe Township Fire Department nearby, telling a passerby who stopped her that her father was killing everyone. The third boy and his mother were approached by Doerman, who bit the woman in an attempt to wrestle her child from her arms. During the struggle, the woman grabbed the rifle and Doerman fired, shooting her through the thumb. In the chaos, she dropped her child, who Doerman shot once in the head. After the defendant executed all three boys, he sat on the side stoop of the residence and watched Mom attempt life-saving measures on her children. In all, 9 total shots were fired. One boy was shot once. The other 2 were shot 4 times, the document says. The defendant made multiple statements to law enforcement, such as, "I did it, take me to jail. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have shot," redacted in them. The defendant also gave a statement during audio and video recorded interview, during which he admitted to having been thinking about shooting his son since October. Reads the document. I cannot wait to get my hands on those, like the interview. Doerman allegedly told investigators that he hadn't slept in 3 or 4 days leading up to the murders because, quote, "the thoughts of having to kill his sons was so heavy on him," unquote, the document says. In total, he faces 21 separate charges. He's charged with 9 counts of aggravated murder, 8 counts of kidnapping, and 4 counts of felonious assault. He's on a $20 million cash bond. "This is the most serious offense that we have on the books, Judge," said David Gast, assistant prosecutor, during the first court appearance on June 16th. "This is it. You cannot commit a more serious offense." A neighbor who witnessed the aftermath said he's seen Doerman treat both his wife and children poorly. "He was angry every day. There wasn't a day he didn't yell at his wife and kids out there," said Richard Kincannon. He said Doerman had a temper, quote, "yelling all the time and treating his wife like shit," unquote. Doerman's father, Keith, said days after the murders that he has no exact explanation for what happened, adding that his son, quote, "just snapped," unquote. "I could tell in his eyes he's hollow inside," Keith Doerman said. "That wasn't Chad standing at the arraignment. That was not him." A celebration of life was held for the 3 boys on June 26, where community members attending the service at First Baptist Church of Glen Estee wearing bright colors at the request of the family. I wish everybody had 5 minutes with them just to be able to see how much fun they were, said Clayton's baseball coach. "There's nothing that's ever going to take away the time we got to spend with them, and I cherish every single moment that I was with those boys. I'm just so lucky to have gotten to know and spend the time that I got to spend with them. It's going to be a tough road ahead, but if we keep getting the support and the community coming together, I think we will get through this." Oh my gosh. Listen to this. The association held a memorial for the boys on the baseball field and sold T-shirts with all proceeds going to the family. The daughter reached back out to us and said, "I want to play in the tournament for my brothers." And that just shows you the strength of them and of what the community has done for them, said the baseball president, Kristen Bennett. Wow, I don't know how I missed that about her wanting to play for them. Let's go to this little, this. See what they came up with.
Don't miss Logan AC and Heat Services big.
I'll mute it for the ad. Can't see the chat right this second, but thank you guys for being here and joining this conversation, even though it is a tough one for sure. And I have 2 cases I want to talk about at the end just briefly, but let me get this up. Okay.
After Chad Doerman came home early from work and asked his wife and 3 boys to join him in the master bedroom for a nap. The document says Doerman grabbed a Marlin model HC-22 caliber rifle from next to the bed in a gun safe and shot one son twice.
In the bedroom. So that is why there were 2 outside.
Investigators say Doerman's wife immediately began to render aid to her son and yelled for her other children to run. The document says Doerman's stepdaughter walked into the room and witnessed the shooting and ran out of the back of the home, chasing after her brother, who was already running toward a field. Doerman, according to the document, gave chase and began shooting, hitting his son, knocking him to the ground. Doerman then...
So remember, this is the driveway. These are the 1 steps, but this is the steps he was sitting on. I don't know if you can see my mouse at this kind of screen share. If you see the road here, they're right on the corner, their driveway, and you see the little walkway. This is where he was sitting. There's bigger steps on the other side of the house, and that is the direction in which sister and brother ran.
Walked up to his son, where he fired 1 shot into his head at close range.
Oh my God.
The document then lays out how the stepdaughter ran back toward the house and picked up the youngest son, Chase, and tried to run from the property. Doerman caught up to them and demanded that she put Chase down. When she did, Doerman attempted to shoot his son in the head, but the gun didn't fire.
Okay, now we're going to pause here again for just a second, because remember, she went toward the fire department, which was over this way. It would be across the road right here in this direction, down towards the bottom of the screen.
At that point, Chase ran to his mother on the side of the house where she was rendering aid to her other son. Doerman would eventually shoot Chase at close range, killing him.
Oh my God, I had never seen that that visual. God almighty. I think she was 14 too, Tiffany. And Adrian. I don't remember exactly though, because it's been a little while. How did they take him in alive? I know he did just sit there and wait. That's for sure. You know, they haven't released all of the 911 calls. Oh, Adrian, yeah. I think she was 14, but you know what? I'd have to go, just to be certain, I'd have to go back and double check. Now, let me show you guys something. He did wear plain clothes to this recent hearing. I wanted to be able to show you what he looked like at that hearing. Oops, just a second. Como News. Yeah, he wants the graphic crime scene photos omitted. I don't know. That just doesn't, that's not right. That doesn't seem right to me. No. So there's 4. Okay, I'm glad we chose this article because there's a lot of photos of the hearing, or a couple at least. The judge spoke of more than 350 photos and videos. Oh, wow. We need to read through this completely. What the heck? I don't want this ad. Okay. We need to read some of this because it's a little bit new information that I hadn't seen. Let's see. He was allowed to wear street clothes for the hearing, but was wearing handcuffs that were attached to a restraining belt. He referenced one of the motions regarding the restraints. He pointed out Doerman has been a model citizen while in jail. Mr. Doerman has not been disrupted in any fashion at the county jail. He has not caused any problems. He has been in my courtroom twice and has been very compliant. That will weigh in on the methods of restraint that I will consider at issue at this time. He also spoke of more than 350 photos and videos of the scene. One of the defense motions would exclude gruesome or redundant photos of the dead children. The judge said it was too early to rule on the photographs and videos, but added, capital murder case jurisprudence tends to label photographs as non-gruesome, not particularly gruesome, and gruesome. So those 3 categories are all at issue here. Clayton, Hunter, and Chase were killed on June 15th. Chad came home early, asked them to take a nap. His stepdaughter, let's see if they noted her age there. They didn't. He is also, okay, so documents say she dropped the boy during the altercation and Doerman reloaded his weapon before killing the child. He is also accused of moving the bodies to the front yard before sitting on the front stoop and watching as their mother continued trying to perform life-saving measures. Can you imagine those moments? I just think, oh my God, the way that like me and my mom, like we kind of panicked when we found out about my cousin recently passing away, and the way that like those, it's a blur at first and a whirlwind, can like that is just so minuscule compared to watching someone shoot your children in the head right in front of you and watching them run for their life. Oh my gosh, he's just such an evil man. So here he is in court. He's sitting straight up. Look at him on the stoop, smoking a cigarette. Oh my God, you guys, this man. Hey, Bryn. How can it not be gruesome? I know, but they should be shown, you know what I mean? Because I think that everyone needs to see exactly what he's done. So good to see you, Bryn. Hi, lovers of Point. The police body cam of his arrest haunts me. Hey, Patricia. Oh, thank you. It's Honeybee for me. We're almost done. No, you can't, Bryn. We're almost done with this one, and then we're going to talk about 2 quick cases before 7:30. Melissa has a live, and then at 9, we have more phone calls on Jen's channel. The blood on his shirt, I noticed that. I think he must be schizophrenic. T. Adams, I'm wondering if there's something like that. He like in his confession, he says that he couldn't sleep for days because it was weighing so heavily on him that he had to kill his children. I can't think of a case where the photos weren't shown. Let us know, Cheryl, because I have heard that it does happen. Ooh, thank you, Nay. That, or not that it necessarily happens, but I've heard that defendants will ask for it. Oh, remember his court hearing? I forgot about that. Him standing there. Oh my gosh. Oh, I wouldn't mind revisiting that. Look at him there. Wow. Got some dark circles. Oh my God almighty. Holy moly, you guys. How horrible. All I have to say is I hope that the judge is very careful with how and what he decides for moving forward, because even though it's probably going to be quite tough on the jury, I think it's important for things to be shown factually. Now, as far as his motion for wanting people who've done time on the jury, I could see the benefit in that for the defense. You know, it doesn't seem like too crazy of an ask. Okay, so now we're going to jump into 2 cases I wanted to show you guys that really I hadn't seen anywhere else. And then I hope that you'll join me over at Melissa's. Jury has to see it. I hope so. I'm very curious to know if there are other cases where that happened. Lesia, no, we don't know. The Halderson case. Thankful for the distractions tonight, Kathy. I hope everything's okay. I know the holidays are just tough times for a lot of people. You know, when you're a kid, it's this special, magical time of the year. And as you get older and you have kids, it's still magical, but in a different way, right? And then, you know, the stress, though, from, you know, making sure you have everything you need, and family events are stressful in themselves. And then when you start to lose people in your family and they're not going to be there that Christmas, it just things, I don't know. It's tough time. Okay. So this Texas woman allegedly stabbed her husband and then drove with her 3 kids in the car into a retention pond. Thankfully, well, let me just read through it. because it's been a day or two since I think I found these last night for us. But a Texas woman is accused of stabbing her husband and then driving a vehicle with her 3 kids into a retention pond where rescuers worked frantically to save them. Around 7:45 a.m. Friday, police in Carrollton were called to a home where a man said his wife had stabbed him and then fled. Medics brought the man to a hospital, and he is expected to survive. Later that morning, a 911 caller reported that a woman and her children were in a vehicle that had just been driven into a retention pond in nearby Louisville. The oldest child managed to free himself by the time the first police officer arrived. The officer was able to grab another child and revive them with CPR. A third child was extricated by firefighters and resuscitated while being rushed to the hospital. Her name is Wei Fin Ong. Authorities said the children were 12, 9, and 8, and one of the younger kids remains in critical condition. Let's go to the NBC5 reports of this. Just a sec. Mother in custody accused of stabbing husband driving children into pond. I mean, think of how much time you have or someone would have that's in a vehicle that goes into water like that. It is just a flat out miracle that these children are alive. And I just cannot believe that. Hey, Shay, this is in my area. It's all over the local crime groups. He's going to blame her. Lesia, I do not know that to be sure. He just has POS condition, this chopper. I just cannot believe that I think it's so shocking that they were saved. And thank God that they were. She was charged with 3 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and 1 count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon causing serious bodily injury. Reported a woman and 3 children, 12, 9, and 8, were in a car that had been driven into the pond. They said Louisville Fire then arrived on scene and rescued a 3rd child who was also unconscious but was resuscitated in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. The 2 youngest children who had to be revived were taken to Children's Legacy in Plano. Louisville police said the mother was conscious and she and the oldest child were examined at Medical City in Louisville. Police said 2 of the children are in stable condition and a 3rd is in critical, and it has not been confirmed which child is in critical condition. I saw what I thought was an accident, but it turned out, I guess, a little more than an accident, said Wallace Rose, who was walking through the area after fishing nearby. I'm not really religious, but if I was, I'd pray for the family. I hope that they're okay. Well, yeah, can you imagine how, like these stories, I always try to place myself in other people's perspective. And my first thought is, you have to live the rest of your life knowing that your mother tried to kill you, your siblings, and your dad. That's horrific. Oh, welcome, Judy. Thank you for joining. Oh, wow, MK. I know, Foxy. Oh, my goodness. Okay, now we're going to talk about one more, and that is this one, and then I'm going to let you guys go. So this was in Florida. Mom found stabbed. She was deceased inside of a burning apartment. But baby was also deceased and 2 children critically injured. I don't know why I read it like that, like deceased instead of dead. I feel like sometimes these titles can be so cold. But it's, you see people on YouTube use salacious or graphic titles, and that is to get the clicks. And it's really no different with articles. Oh my God, Dee, that is crazy. I've not thought of that. His kids are named Chase and Hunter. He chased and hunted them. Oh my God. Kathy, when I was looking for this new, like cases that, when I'm planning like a true crime news, I would just go look around and see if there's any cases I want to talk about that really haven't been talked about a lot. And I saw a story on him, and he now is pen pals with the Happy Face Killer, apparently. Happy Thanksgiving Eve, Elbergs. Okay. Florida firefighters responding to a November 20th apartment fire say they discovered a deceased woman, a baby, and 3 critically injured children inside the unit. According to the Miami Herald, at around midnight, the Daytona Beach Fire Department responded to emergency calls about heavy smoke coming from inside an apartment at 1200 Belleville in Daytona Beach. First responders rushed the children to the hospital, where the infant was pronounced dead. The 2 children are currently in critical condition. On Tuesday, the Daytona Beach Police Chief, Jakari Young, confirmed that an adult female and an infant found in the apartment are deceased. The baby was reportedly in cardiac arrest when the fire department arrived, while the woman was stabbed multiple times. I'm sad to report that the mother is deceased. With regards to the 3 children, their ages are 1, 4, and 5. The 1-year-old was transported to the hospital but is also deceased. The 4 and 5-year-old are over at another hospital receiving treatment, but they are still alive but in critical condition. Daytona Beach Fire Department Lieutenant Antoine Lewis told Fox 35 that it appears someone intentionally started the fire and that 2 points of origin were found. Police are currently treating this as a homicide. USA Today identified the woman as a 30-year-old, but police have not released her identity. This is a horrific incident. We are literally 2 days out from a holiday that centers around family, and this is what we're dealing with this morning. Let's go see what USA Today put out. Oh, did I do something wrong? Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, you guys. A mother found dead in an apartment blaze Monday was not killed in the fire and had been stabbed multiple times. Her baby also died, and her 2 children were critically injured. The death of the 30-year-old woman has not been identified as being investigated as a homicide. Let's see, because they have video of the responding scene. First responders found the 3 children and their mother inside the residence. When a medical examiner arrived and was able to move the mother's body, it was discovered she had been stabbed multiple times, Young said. The baby was found in a crib. The youngest child, just under the age of 1, was worked on for quite some time and pronounced deceased at the hospital. The state fire marshal was called in to investigate the fire. Let me go to this little video.
This breaking news overnight, a newborn and
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
So I'm going to, before we listen to this, I want to play the video, but I just want to say, I'm going to follow this as we, as any news happens. So I'll let you guys know, but, okay.
Thank you. Following this breaking news overnight, a newborn and her mother lost their lives in a case that police are calling a homicide just days before Thanksgiving. Fox 35 first told you at 6 a.m. about this apartment fire. Police say it was intentionally set. We're on top of the unfolding details overnight, and we're able to show you this video starting at 4 a.m.
Morgan Parrish has been live on the scene since 4 a.m. And Morgan, the police just saying live on Good Day Orlando that mother was actually stabbed probably before that fire started. So some concerning details here.
I like to watch the local news on cases like this just because we get to see the, the area. Hey, Meta Mom. You guys coming in, good to see you. Make sure you rewind because this was very, very, we went through a lot of information regarding Chad Doerman's case and where it's currently at, what's been happening in the courtroom, but also a little refresher on what happened. And that one we're going to follow very closely. So make sure you catch up if you haven't, if you came in late. Okay.
Hey, Ryan, good morning. That's right. Yeah, so we are looking at a double homicide right now. Chief Young did say that that mother was stabbed and she was inside with her 3 children at the time when that apartment was set on fire. We do know that her infant died on scene as well. And we're still waiting to confirm whether that was a 1-month-old or a 1-year-old. The 2 other children, we were told 5 years old and 6-year-old, were sent.
Oh my God, look at the wall. Oh my goodness gracious, you guys. Okay. So we are going to wrap it up here. Like I said, I know that Melissa Jade has a live tonight at 7:30. I will definitely see you guys over there. And then I hope to see you also at the Ward Case Studies tonight at 9 to go over the last jail calls of November 2020. And December is ready to go. I think we're going to probably wait and start that like the weekend or right after. Hey, Connor. Oh, hey, Melissa Jade. Very hard not to have your loved ones around for the holidays. I know it is. And whether they're deceased or they're just not in your life right now or whatever, I know that probably most of us are missing somebody during the holidays. So, all right, you guys. Well, thank you for coming and hanging out. Sorry, I've been in my funk. I've been like really bad at responding to any messages, emails, comments, anything. And I usually try to make sure to do that, and I will. It's just, I'm annoyed. YouTube has me quite annoyed right now. And I just like, Oh, by the way, I'm going to end it with, I have a new intro for short videos. So like, think like tidbits of Tisha, the 20-minute videos. Instead of having the 2-minute intro at the beginning, Christine edited me like a short version of the intro that I use now to use for those. And I'm going to close it out using that. Hey, little magician. Hello, little magician. Quit YouTube, dirty dingus. Okay, wait for the full moon, girl. Hey, when is it, Foxy? I'll try, Kathy. It's just hard. Okay, let me drop Melissa. I meant to get the link to her live exactly, but you guys just go to the channel and then the live column, and the same for the calls tonight, which I think you guys can find your way to those channels. But how can we get recorded toilet talks? I know. I can't wait to be able to get some of the calls and stuff from Adam Montgomery and this case and some of the other ones. Anyways, I love and appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I wanted to wait and see if Foxy answered me when the full moon is. Hey, Curious Jen. Let me put your little link in here too, because she has the, she'll have a Thanksgiving extravaganza. June 26th and 27th. All right. All right. I will see you guys in just a few minutes on Melissa's and then in a little bit. I love and appreciate you guys so much. And yeah, thank you for being here. I'm going to end it with our new little intro just as the outro. And I'll see you soon. Okay. Bye.